Second Chronicles is a very interesting book. Now, I have chosen to go right by Solomon, just because that's usually all that we get out of this book. The first 9 chapters, Solomon, his prayer for wisdom, his decline, his sin, all that. We already saw that coming through. So we're going to hit a whole different angle. We're going to see more of God and a continuation of First Chronicles, and that is the relationship with God. But starting in the first paragraph, from Solomon, who started reigning about 970 BC, so that's about 3,000 years ago, to the collapse of the Judean Monarchy, the exile of the Jews, and the destruction of Jerusalem and its temple in 586. That was the death knell of the Israel of the Old Testament as we know it. It was just a shadow when Nehemiah and Ezra and Zerubbabel and the whole gang came back after the 70-year exile. But they were still a nation until 586, and actually there were 3 waves that the Babylonians, in 605, Nebuchadnezzar swept through and did his number, and most likely took Daniel either in 605 or took him in about 597 when he came back a second time and besieged them and caused a lot of problems. But then in 586 he just said, this is enough, and he said, I'm going to destroy them all, and he did. He circled the city, killed hundreds of thousands, and took away everybody else and knocked down the wall and burned everything up. But that was in 586. It took him 19 years basically to destroy Israel, the southern kingdom. But this book, and the book you're looking at, Second Chronicles, traces 384 years. Now, that would be from about 1612. That's about the time the King James Version, 1611 authorized version. So that's how long, from back then until right now, how long this book covers. That's a lot of history. Think how the world has changed from King James I to today. Well, there was that much time, although that much change. And this book records 384 years of people living in the sight of God. I don't know if it gets to you, but it gets to me that he sees everything, and he keeps track of it, unless we have it automatically erased by the blood of Christ. Either God's going to remember it forever, and we're going to pay for it, or he's going to forget it forever, and Christ is going to pay for it. I mean, that's neat. And he remembers everything in technicolor, with sounds, motivations, and thoughts. I mean, and so it's better to have it erased, and that erasure is called the new birth, being born again. As a divine documentary of the life of each king, the life of each king is exposed. Prosperity or adversity came from their relationship with God. And if they were rightly related to God, they prospered beyond understanding. And if they weren't, if everything was lined out for them perfectly, it still went to naught if they weren't rightly related to God.